Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Juan's World, and there's a lot going on right now. Pachumpin, which I mentioned last time, is a 15-day festival in Cambodia, but the last 3 days are the big ones. And today, October 1st, is the beginning of those last 3 days. So I'll be hearing around pagodas. I went around 4 yesterday, 3 on Sunday, 3 on Saturday, and I'm going to go to just one today because it's a long way away from where I live. And then I think 2 tomorrow and just another one on the last day, and then hopefully that'll be the end of it, because I'm getting a little tired of doing 20-30 kilometers a day on my bicycle. I'm also going to do a little kind of cooking, kind of not cooking today, because what I want to celebrate is Michaelmas. Michaelmas, technically the feast of St. Michael and All Angels, occurs on September 29th. And it's a big deal in England, in some quarters anyway, so let's get into that. So when I first moved to England as a teenager, my grammar school had the day off on Michaelmas. It really surprised me. I didn't quite understand why. It's because Michaelmas is the start of a lot of things, including a new term for the law courts, and they call it Michaelmas term. And when I went to Oxford, the first term of 3 in the year was the Michaelmas term. Not sure quite why Michaelmas, in the sense that Michaelmas is on the 29th of September, and typically the Oxford term doesn't start until October. The Oxford terms are only 8 weeks, and you have 3 of them, so you actually have more time off than you do with your tutor and lecturers and so forth. And because it's only 8 weeks and it finishes well before Christmas, it usually doesn't start until the first week of October. So Michaelmas is not in the Michaelmas term at Oxford, but it probably carries over from other areas like the law courts. So I've always thought of Michaelmas as being the start of the school year, and I continue to think that way because Michaelmas is famous for 2 dishes. Number 1 is Michaelmas goose. You're supposed to roast a goose that historically had fed on the stubble from the harvest. They harvest all the grains, but a lot gets left behind in the stubble, and they turn the geese out on the stubble to fatten up, and then by Michaelmas they're all fat and roly-poly and ready to eat. Well, I couldn't find goose here in Phnom Penh, of course. I have no idea where to get a goose. It used to be hard to get one in the United States. I typically had to order one, and they were really expensive. I used to get one for Michaelmas and one for Christmas, and I'd probably spend about $35-40 on a goose that would serve our family of 3 and that was it, because an awful lot of it is fat, and when you roast it down, and it doesn't have any leg meat to speak of, it's just breast meat. And I could actually eat a whole goose myself without much problem. But with my wife and my son, we'd carve off the breasts and that would be it. The second is that there's a legend in England that the devil fell into a blackberry bush on Michaelmas, and so he cursed the blackberries, spat on the blackberry bushes, and so I'm not sure quite whether you're supposed to eat blackberries or not, or you can't eat blackberries afterwards or what, I don't know. But anyway, they typically will serve either a blackberry tart, or what I would normally do is make a blackberry and apple crumble. And in past videos I've shown you how to make a crumble. You can't really make a blackberry crumble by itself because the blackberries are rather soft and they tend to get mushy. But if you add an apple into the mix, and so it gives it a little bit of texture, then blackberry and apple makes a nice crumble. There's also Michaelmas daisies, which bloom at this time of year, and lots of people were born on Michaelmas, and they get the name Michael, or some version of it, like for example Miguel Cervantes was born on Michaelmas. I don't believe Michelangelo was born on Michaelmas, but I don't know. But his name is, Michael the Angel. So it's a fun, festive day. Because I couldn't get a goose, I searched around and found these, which are duck breasts, and this is a smoked duck breast. I got just a plain breast and a smoked breast, and I grilled it off to brown the skin and whatnot, and then poached it for a while because the ducks here in Cambodia tend to be kind of tough. But this one I poached in a mixture of leeks and two kinds of mushrooms, and was really pleasant. So I mean, not quite goose, but duck is kind of like second fiddle to goose. So it was a joyous festival for me, and old memories. Like, I don't think, apart from people who go to Oxford and clerics, maybe a few others will remember Michaelmas, but it's old memories for me. So there it is for a Tuesday. I'm going to go off in search of pagodas later when the sun comes up, and enjoy the remainder of Pachumbin. And I hope you have a good week. Please tell your friends about my videos. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll be back on Friday with something. Have a good week.